Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan episode. If you're new here, this is an episode that comes out every Wednesday where I share my family's meal plan with you for the upcoming week. The meal plan can also be found on my website at lolasfrugallife.com with links to any of the recipes that I might mention. I think meal planning is so important for saving money and for keeping your sanity and just making life a little bit easier. So I rotate my meals on a regular basis. I am not always trying stuff new. I do occasionally, but to me it's more important to have a plan for what I'm going to cook for the week. And I do that by rotating certain things on certain days of the week and then just kind of filling in the gaps with others. And I meal plan far in advance. For example, if I have a meal tonight, if it's not part of my regular rotations, if it's just something that I make occasionally, I will think ahead, when do I want to have this again? If I say a month or 2 months or whatever, I will go into my meal planning app and put that meal on the plan for 2 months from now. That way, when I get to that day is already planned for me. So anyway, so this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, June 24th. So for Saturday, we're going to be doing French dip sandwiches. I don't have a link to share, but I will post the recipe on the blog post. It's so easy. You basically just put a chuck roast in the crock pot, and you put an envelope of onion soup mix, au jus gravy packet, a can of beef broth, and that is it. And it just cooks all day. And then you just serve it on rolls with some cheese, and it's a super, super easy meal, and I really love it. It freezes well too. If it makes too much, you could freeze it in portions, and it heats up really great for like a quick lunch or something like that. And then as a side dish, we're going to be making classic macaroni salad, which is from allrecipes.com. It's just your typical, elbow macaroni with mayo type pasta side dish. For Sunday, I'm going to be doing chicken franchise from dinneratthezoo.com. This is a homemade chicken franchise recipe. It does take a little bit longer to make. It's not like super hard, but there's a little bit of time. It's a little time consuming compared to some of the other easier meals that I make, but it does come out really good. So I've kind of been starting to rotate that into my meal plan occasionally, and then I'm going to be doing linguine on the side and some frozen vegetables, like whatever I happen to have on hand. I always keep some of those kinds that you can just put in the microwave real quick and heat up, like the steam fresh kind of vegetables, and just put that in the microwave while I'm cooking the other stuff, and makes for a quicker side. So then Monday is our hot dog night. We do that once every 4 weeks on a Monday. So just hot dogs cooked up on the grill or in the air fryer sometimes I'll do, or sometimes just on a pot of water on the stove. And then I'm going to be doing home fried potatoes. Actually, I never make the hot dogs in the air fryer. I have, but usually I always make potatoes and peppers and onions. So those I always make in the air fryer. So we have those with the hot dogs. I just do, dice up some potatoes, peppers, and onions, toss them with some olive oil and some salt and pepper, and cook them up in the air fryer. You can also roast them in the oven, of course, and then we'll do a can of chili to go with that also. So then for Tuesday, that's our Mexican theme night. This week we're going to be doing Southwest Skillet by Campbell's Kitchen, which is from allrecipes.com. This is a skillet meal that includes ground beef, whole peeled tomatoes, kidney beans, instant white rice. I'm not sure. I don't recall if I changed it to instant white rice or if it called for that, but I've been using instant white rice. So just to note, it cooks quicker and easier when making a meal like this. So that's what I've been using. Sometimes I will go in and change to instant rice in a recipe, even if the original recipe called for regular rice, because I always have a hard time getting rice to cook in a recipe. A lot of times where it cooks to the right consistency. So sometimes I'll just switch it up and do instant rice. So just a tip, if you do click on that recipe link and it says to use regular rice, I've been using instant rice for that. For Wednesday, we're going to be doing easy shrimp scampi recipe. This is from spendwithpennies.com. This is just a quick stovetop shrimp scampi, and we will be serving with some linguine on the side to go with that. Next up is Thursday, which is our soup night. We either do soup or breakfast for dinner on Thursday. So this week we're doing soup. I'm doing sausage tortellini soup, which is from greatgrubdelicious.treats.com. This is a really easy soup to make. You basically just cook up some sausage in a pan and you add chicken broth and heavy cream, and then add tortellinis in there and let them cook, and that's basically it. It's a really super easy soup to make, and it tastes good. It's got like a nice creamy broth with the tortellinis and the sausage. So that is for Thursday. For Friday, I'm going to be doing grilled chicken. I just take some chicken breasts and kind of slice them kind of thin, and then I marinate them in some olive oil and white wine vinegar and I think it's called not McCormick. Is it McCormick chicken? Montreal chicken seasoning. And then just throw them on the grill. They cook up really fast. And then while those are cooking in the oven, I will actually, I'll put this in the oven first before I throw the chicken on the grill because this takes longer. But I'm going to be making some baked feta pasta. This is super easy. You take cherry tomatoes and feta cheese and drizzle olive oil over them, and you bake it in the oven in a baking dish. At the same time, you boil up your pasta, and when the feta and tomatoes are finished cooking in the oven, it kind of like melts and the tomatoes kind of like burst. You just mix the pasta in with that right in the baking dish, and it's done. So I'll be doing that with the grilled chicken for Friday. So that is it for this week's meal plan. I hope you found this helpful. Like I said, it's really just to kind of help maybe give you some ideas. Actually, I don't even think I said this, but the reason I do this is just to kind of help give you some ideas for something you might want to add to your meal plan, or just give you some motivation to get your meal plan together for the week. Like I said, you can find all of the links to any recipes mentioned in the full meal plan on my website at lolasfrugallife.com if you're interested in trying any of these for your family. So that is it for this week. I will see you back here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes and definitely all of my meal plan episodes at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.